Sunday, 9:47 a.m., Grace Community Church, Nashville. Nathan Brooks stood in the wings of the stage, adjusting his microphone. Beyond the curtain, 3,000 voices sang "How Great Thou Art," with the kind of passion that only a megachurch worship team could inspire. The bass vibrated through the floor. The lights would be swirling in patterns of blue and gold. In 7 minutes, he'd walk onto that stage. Senior Pastor Nathan Brooks, 41 years old, 15 years in ministry, spiritual father to thousands. The man who'd written 3 best-selling books on Christian marriage. The man whose sermons on faithfulness had been downloaded over 2 million times. The man who'd been sleeping with his worship coordinator for the past 6 months. His phone buzzed. A text from Claire, his wife of 18 years. "Praying for you. Love you. See you at lunch?" Nathan's stomach twisted. He typed back, "Love you too. Yes to lunch." Then he deleted a text thread above it, the one from Jessica that said, "Last night was amazing. Can't stop thinking about you." Worship was building to its crescendo. Tim, the worship pastor, caught Nathan's eye and nodded. 2 minutes. Nathan closed his eyes, said a silent prayer, ironic considering, and prepared to preach about integrity. The music swelled one final time, then dropped. Tim's voice boomed through the sanctuary. "Church, would you help me welcome our pastor, Nathan Brooks?" Nathan walked onto the stage, smile bright, arms wide, looking every bit the confident shepherd. The congregation erupted. Standing ovation. They loved him, trusted him, believed every word he said. If only they knew. The sermon. Nathan opened his Bible, physical, leather-bound, margins filled with notes, his trademark. Church, open your Bibles to Proverbs 6. We're in week 3 of our series, Building on the Rock, and today we're talking about the foundation of integrity. Pages rustled across the sanctuary. Verse 32. The man who commits adultery lacks judgment. Whoever does so destroys himself. Now, I know that's a hard word, but God doesn't give hard words to hurt us. He gives them to protect us. Nathan paced the stage, animated, passionate. This was what he did best. 15 years of practice made it second nature. Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about being the same person in public that you are in private. It's about your hidden life matching your public life. Because here's the truth, church. Secrets always come to light. Always. And when they do, they destroy everything you've built. A woman in the front row nodded, taking notes. Behind her, a couple held hands. In the balcony, college students leaned forward, engaged. Nathan felt like a fraud. Jesus said in Luke 8:17, "There is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." That should terrify us, but it should also free us, because if we're going to be exposed anyway, we might as well live in the light now. He paused for effect. Let the words land. So let me ask you today, what are you hiding? What secret are you carrying that's eating you alive? What would happen if the person you pretend to be and the person you actually are became the same person? The irony was suffocating. Maybe you're hiding an addiction. Maybe it's pornography. Maybe it's an affair, emotional or physical. Maybe it's financial dishonesty. Maybe it's rage you only show at home. Whatever it is, I promise you, the cost of hiding it is greater than the cost of exposing it. Nathan's voice caught slightly. Nobody noticed except him. God isn't waiting for you to be perfect before he loves you. He's loving you right now, in your mess, in your sin, in your shame. But he's also inviting you into something better, into integrity, into wholeness, into a life where you don't have to remember which version of yourself you showed to which person. The worship team started playing softly. Emotional moment. Altar call coming. If that's you today, if you're living a double life, if you're exhausted from hiding, I want to invite you to make today the day you step into the light. Not because God will love you more, but because you'll finally be free. Heads bowed, music swelled. 50 people came forward for prayer. Nathan prayed over them, laid hands on them, spoke words of blessing and restoration, and felt like the biggest hypocrite in Tennessee. After service, the office. Nathan's office was exactly what you'd expect. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a massive oak desk, comfortable chairs for counseling, photos of his family everywhere. Claire and their 2 kids, Emma, 16, and Noah, 13, smiling from various vacations and milestones. He sat at his desk, still wearing his stage clothes, and tried to process what he'd just done. Preached about integrity while living a lie. Invited people into the light while hiding in the darkness. A knock at the door. His executive pastor, Marcus Hayes, 52, gray hair, kind eyes. Nathan's mentor for a decade. Marcus entered, carrying 2 coffees. He set one on Nathan's desk and settled into the chair across from him. "Powerful sermon today," Marcus said, sipping his coffee. "You really challenged people." "Thanks. Felt like the Spirit was moving." Marcus studied him for a moment. Nathan felt exposed under that gaze. "Nathan, can I ask you something? And I want you to be honest with me." Nathan's pulse quickened. "Of course." "Are you okay? You seem different lately. Distracted. Like you're carrying something heavy." This was it. The moment Nathan could confess. Could step into his own altar call. Could stop pretending. He opened his mouth. The truth sat on his tongue, ready. "I'm fine, just tired. The building campaign has been intense." Marcus nodded slowly, not entirely convinced. "If you need to talk, I'm here. You know that, right? Whatever it is. No judgment. Just love." "I know. Thanks, Marcus. Really." After Marcus left, Nathan put his head in his hands. He just lied to his mentor. Added one more brick to the wall of deception. His phone buzzed. "Jessica, coffee this week? Miss talking to you." Nathan knew what coffee meant. It meant a hotel room in a different suburb. It meant 2 hours of escape from his guilt. It meant betraying Claire again. He should say no. End it. Confess everything. Instead, he typed, "Tuesday, same place." Sunday lunch. The Brooks home. The Brooks lived in a comfortable suburban house. Not ostentatious. Nathan was careful about that, given his platform, but nice. 4 bedrooms, a backyard where they used to have barbecues before life got too busy. Claire, 40, moved around the kitchen with practiced ease, assembling sandwiches while Nathan set the table. Emma was in her room, door closed, music bleeding through. Noah was in the living room, playing video games. 17 years of marriage had settled into a rhythm, comfortable, familiar, safe. And for Nathan, increasingly suffocating. Claire brought the sandwiches to the table, called the kids. They gathered, held hands, and Nathan prayed. "Lord, thank you for this food, for this family, for your blessings. Help us to honor you in all we do. Amen." The words felt like ashes in his mouth. Emma picked at her sandwich, scrolling through her phone. Noah ate with the single-minded focus of a 13-year-old boy. Claire watched Nathan with an expression he couldn't quite read. "Good sermon today," she said. "That part about hidden things coming to light, that was convicting." Nathan forced a smile. "Thanks. It's a challenging passage." It made me think about how many things we hide. Not even big things, just little lies we tell ourselves about who we are. Was she fishing? Did she know? "Yeah, I think we all do that," Nathan said carefully. "It's human nature to want to look better than we are." Claire nodded, but something in her eyes suggested she wasn't talking about little lies. Emma looked up from her phone. "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Sure, sweetheart." "You always preach about integrity and being authentic. Do you ever feel like you're not? Like, do you ever feel fake?" The question landed like a grenade. Nathan took a sip of water, buying time. "Why do you ask?" Emma shrugged. "I don't know. I just see you on stage and you're so confident and perfect. And then I see you at home and you're just... Dad. Like, which one is the real you?" "They're both real," Nathan said. "Stage Nathan is just me doing my job. Home Nathan is me relaxing. People are complex, Em. We contain multitudes." "I guess. It just seems exhausting to be one person at church and a different person at home." "It's not that different. Dad, you literally just preached about being the same person in private that you are in public. But you're not. None of us are. We all put on church faces." Claire intervened gently. "Emma, your dad works hard to practice what he preaches." "I know. I'm not saying he's a hypocrite or anything. I'm just saying it's hard. Like, how do you be authentic when everyone expects you to be perfect?" Nathan had no answer. Because she was right. After lunch, while Claire cleaned up and the kids disappeared to their respective screens, Nathan stood in his backyard. The Tennessee sky was cloudless. Beautiful day. Perfect weather. And Nathan felt like he was drowning. 6 months earlier, how it started. The affair hadn't begun as an affair. It never does. Jessica Torres, 32, started at Grace Community as worship coordinator in January. Talented, passionate about worship, newly single after a difficult breakup. She joined the staff team, and Nathan, as senior pastor, met with all new hires. Their first meeting was professional. Nathan talked about church vision, expectations, his leadership style. Jessica was impressive, articulate, spiritually mature, creative. She'd be a great addition to the team. The second meeting was to review some worship planning. Still professional. But Nathan noticed things. The way she laughed. The way she talked about Jesus with genuine passion, not religious performance. The way she looked at him, not as Pastor Brooks, celebrity preacher, but as Nathan, human being. The third meeting was ostensibly about a worship conference she wanted to attend. But somehow they ended up talking about their personal lives, her broken engagement, his feeling of being trapped in expectations. 2 hours passed like 20 minutes. That's when Nathan knew he was in dangerous territory. He should have pulled back, should have ensured all future meetings included other staff, should have been honest with Claire about feeling disconnected. Instead, he leaned in. More meetings, coffee to discuss ministry, late nights planning services, text conversations that started about work and ended about life, faith, dreams, frustrations. Emotional affair first. That was the gateway. Jessica understood him in ways Claire didn't. Or maybe it was just that Jessica saw new Nathan, exciting, pastoral, admired, while Claire saw old Nathan, tired, human, flawed. The first kiss happened in his office, after a particularly emotional staff meeting. Jessica had shared about her broken engagement. Nathan had offered pastoral comfort. She looked up at him with tears in her eyes and said, "Thank you for seeing me." And then they were kissing. Nathan pulled back, horrified, apologized profusely, said it couldn't happen again. It happened again 2 days later. After that, the line was crossed. The physical affair began. Hotel rooms during hospital visits, early morning meetings at coffee shops in different suburbs, stolen hours that felt like oxygen to a drowning man. Nathan told himself it wasn't real, just a mistake. He'd end it soon, get back on track. But 6 months later, he was still lying, still betraying, still preaching integrity while embodying its opposite. Present day, Monday morning, 7:15 a.m. Nathan's alarm went off. Claire was already up, in the shower. Morning routine hadn't changed in 15 years. She'd shower first, he'd make coffee, they'd have breakfast together before the kids woke up. Except lately, Nathan had started working out at 6 a.m., or so he told Claire. Actually, he'd been meeting Jessica. This morning was different though, just actual work. Sermon prep, budget meetings, the regular grind of running a megachurch. Nathan made coffee, opened his laptop to work on next Sunday's sermon. The topic? Trust in relationships. The irony was brutal. Claire emerged from the bedroom, dressed for work. She was a guidance counselor at a local high school, a job she loved, a job she was gifted at. Nathan admired her, had always admired her. So why wasn't that enough? She poured herself coffee, sat across from him at the kitchen table. "Nathan, I need to talk to you about something." His stomach dropped. She knew. Somehow she knew. "Okay," he managed. Claire wrapped her hands around her mug, gathering courage. "I feel like you're not here anymore. Like, you're physically present, but you're somewhere else in your head. We barely talk about anything real. When was the last time we had an actual conversation that wasn't logistics?" Relief and guilt warred in Nathan's chest. She didn't know, but she felt something was wrong. "I know, I'm sorry. Church stuff has been overwhelming. It's always church stuff, Nathan. For 15 years, it's been church stuff. And I've supported that. I've been the pastor's wife, played the part, smiled through lonely nights when you were counseling someone else's marriage. But lately, it feels like more than busy. It feels like distance, like you're avoiding me." She was right. He was avoiding her, because looking at her meant seeing his betrayal reflected back. "Claire, I don't mean to be distant. Let me take you to dinner this week. Just us. No kids, no church people, no interruptions." "Wednesday?" she asked, hopeful. Nathan's mind raced. Tuesday he was meeting Jessica. Wednesday, he could cancel with Jessica. He should cancel with Jessica. "Wednesday's perfect." Claire smiled, some of the tension leaving her shoulders. "Okay, I'd like that." She stood, kissed his forehead, perfunctory, habitual, and headed out for work. Nathan sat alone in the kitchen, coffee growing cold. His phone buzzed. "Jessica, can't wait for tomorrow, need to see you." Nathan stared at the text. This was the moment. He could end it right now. Text back. "We need to stop this. It's over." Instead, he wrote, "Me too." Tuesday, 2 p.m., the hotel. Nathan sat in his car in the parking lot of a Hampton Inn 30 minutes outside Nashville. This was the routine. Midweek, mid-afternoon, when most of his congregation was at work and wouldn't run into him. He told his assistant he had hospital visits, put it on his calendar, crafted an entire alibi. The lies had become sophisticated. Jessica's car pulled in 2 spaces over. She got out, walked toward the lobby without looking at him. Protocol. They'd enter separately, meet at the room. Nathan watched her disappear inside. 29 years old, beautiful, alive in a way that made him feel alive. With her, he wasn't Pastor Nathan. He was just Nathan. No expectations, no performance, just being. His phone buzzed. Claire. Love you. Looking forward to tomorrow night. The guilt was physical, a weight on his chest, an ache in his throat. He could leave right now, drive away, go home, confess everything, burn his life down, but at least stop living the lie. Instead, he got out of the car and walked into the hotel.
2 hours later.
Nathan lay on his back, staring at the ceiling. Jessica beside him, head on his shoulder, fingers tracing patterns on his chest. The afternoon light filtered through cheap curtains. This was always the worst part. After, when the escape faded and reality returned. When the chemistry dissipated and guilt rushed back in like floodwater. Jessica shifted, propped herself up on one elbow, looking at him. You're thinking about her, she said quietly. No, Nathan lied. Nathan, I'm not stupid. Every time after, you disappear into your head. You're thinking about your wife, about what we're doing. What are we doing, Jess? She flinched slightly at the question. I don't know. I thought this was real. I thought you... Her voice caught. Do you love me? Nathan closed his eyes. This was the question he'd been avoiding for 6 months. I care about you. Deeply. But Jess, I'm married. I have kids. I have a church. This can't be... we can't... So I'm just what? A distraction? A midlife crisis? No. God, no. You're not... This isn't about using you. I have real feelings for you. But I also have responsibilities. Jessica sat up, pulling the sheet around herself, her eyes filled with tears. Then what are we doing? If this can't go anywhere, if I'm just the person you escaped to, why are we doing this? It was a fair question, one Nathan couldn't answer. I need to end it, he said finally. The words felt like they came from someone else. This is destroying me, destroying my family. It's wrong. So end it, Jessica said, voice hard now. End it. Walk away. Go back to your perfect life and your perfect wife and pretend this never happened. Jess, do you know what kills me? Her tears were falling now, angry and hurt. It's not that you're choosing her. It's that you've been choosing her the whole time. You were never going to leave. This was always temporary for you. But for me... She broke off, sobbing. Nathan reached for her. She pushed his hand away. For you, this was real, he finished quietly. Yes, God, Nathan, yes. I fell in love with you. I thought you felt the same. I thought we were building towards something. I have feelings for you, but I can't blow up my entire life, my kids. Your wife, your church, your reputation. What about us? What about what we have? What we have is an affair, Jess. It's not real. It's stolen moments in hotel rooms. It's not a foundation for anything. The words were cruel, but true. Jessica recoiled like he'd slapped her. Get out, she whispered. Jess, get out, leave. Go home to your wife and your kids and your church and pretend you're the man they think you are. But don't ever say what we had wasn't real. It was real to me. Nathan dressed in silence, shame coating him like oil. At the door, he turned back. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. But you did, Jessica said, voice hollow. And you'll do it again. Because that's who you are. A man who looks like integrity, but is really just a liar. Nathan left, drove home in silence, and realized she was right. The exposure. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Dinner with Claire. Nathan and Claire sat across from each other at a nice Italian restaurant. Candlelight, wine, the kind of date they used to have regularly before kids and church and life consumed everything. Claire looked beautiful. Nathan tried to focus on that, on her, on salvaging something. This is nice, she said, smiling. We should do this more often. We should. I've been thinking, we need to prioritize us more. I've let church take over too much. Claire reached across the table, took his hand. I appreciate you saying that. Nathan, I know ministry is demanding. I married a pastor. I signed up for this. But lately, it feels like I'm married to a ghost. You're physically present, but emotionally absent. I'm trying to be better, starting now. They ordered, made small talk, laughed at stories about the kids. For a moment, it felt like old times, like maybe Nathan could bury the affair, move forward, rebuild without Claire ever knowing. Then her phone rang. "Sorry, it's Emma. I told her to only call if it was an emergency." Claire answered. "Em, what's wrong?" Nathan watched Claire's face change, confusion, then shock, then something that looked like the ground opening beneath her. "What? No, that can't. Emma, where did you?" Her eyes moved to Nathan, and in them, he saw everything shatter. "I'll call you back." She ended the call, set her phone down with trembling hands. "Nathan, why does our 16-year-old daughter have a screenshot of text messages between you and someone named Jessica? Texts from yesterday that say..." Her voice broke. "That say you can't wait to see her." The restaurant noise faded. Everything narrowed to Claire's face, to the tears starting in her eyes, to the end of the world happening in real time. "Claire, don't lie to me right now. Don't insult me by lying. I don't know how Emma..." "A girl from youth group sent it to her. Apparently it's been circulating. Someone at church knows, Nathan, and they've been spreading it. My daughter knows. The youth group knows. How many people know that my husband is..." She couldn't finish the sentence. Nathan felt like he was falling. The exposure he'd preached about on Sunday. It was happening. Real time. "I ended it yesterday," he said desperately. "It's over. I was going to tell you." "You ended it yesterday? Nathan, how long? How long has this been going on?" He couldn't speak. "How long?" Claire's voice rose, heads turned. She didn't care. "6 months," he whispered. The words landed like a bomb. Claire's face crumpled. 6 months? 6 months you've been lying to me, sleeping in our bed, preaching on Sundays, counseling other couples, all while... She stood abruptly, grabbing her purse. "Claire, please, let me explain." "Explain? Explain what? That you've been having an affair for 6 months? That you've been lying to me, to our kids, to our church? That everything I thought we were is a lie?" People were definitely watching now. Nathan stood, trying to keep his voice low. "Not here. Please, let's go home. We can talk." "I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to look at you. I need..." She was crying now, not caring who saw. "I need you to not be near me right now." She walked out. Nathan threw money on the table and followed her to the parking lot. Claire was in her car, engine running. Nathan knocked on the window. She looked at him through the glass, mascara running, face destroyed, and he saw what he'd done. She drove away. Nathan stood in the parking lot of an Italian restaurant, his marriage imploding, his secret exposed, everything he'd built collapsing. His phone started buzzing. Marcus. Then his assistant. Then 3 board members. The secret was out. The hidden things had come to light, just like he'd preached on Sunday. Wednesday, 11:47 p.m., the guest room. Nathan sat in the guest room of his own house. Claire had locked their bedroom door, wouldn't speak to him. Emma was crying in her room. Noah didn't understand what was happening, but knew something was very wrong. His phone hadn't stopped. Marcus had called an emergency board meeting for tomorrow morning. Jessica had texted, asking if the rumors were true, if they'd been exposed. The associate pastor wanted to know what he should tell people calling the church. Nathan's entire life was unraveling. He'd spent the evening trying to talk to Claire through the locked door, apologizing, explaining, begging. She'd finally told him to leave her alone, or she'd have him removed from the house. Now, sitting in darkness, Nathan faced what he'd done. Not just the affair, the lies, the performance, the hypocrisy. 15 years of ministry, and he'd become exactly what he preached against. He thought about Sunday's sermon, about integrity, about hidden things coming to light, and he realized he'd been preaching to himself the whole time. His phone buzzed again, a text from a number he didn't recognize. "You destroyed my family. I trusted you to help with my marriage. You were sleeping with someone while counseling me about faithfulness. I hope you burn in hell." Nathan closed his eyes. This was just beginning. The full impact was still coming. He whispered into the darkness, "God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to fix this. I don't even know if it can be fixed. What would Jesus do if he'd done what I did? If he'd destroyed everything?" The guest room went silent. Not normal silence. Complete absence of sound. The buzz of his phone mid-vibration stopped. The distant sound of Claire crying, gone. The hum of the house settling, vanished. Nathan looked up. The light had changed, not from any lamp. Golden, warm, like dawn breaking in a place beyond time. A figure sat in the chair across from him. Jesus. Not sanitized Sunday school Jesus. Middle Eastern, carpenter's hands, eyes that had seen betrayal and experienced it. Nathan scrambled backward. No, not you! Anyone but you! I can't face you right now! Jesus spoke, voice gentle but clear. Yet here I am. I don't deserve, I can't! Nathan's voice broke. Do you know what I've done? Yes. Then why are you here? To condemn me? To tell me I've destroyed everything? I already know that. Jesus leaned forward. I'm here because you asked what I would do. And Nathan, you think I've never experienced what you're feeling? You didn't have an affair. You didn't lie for 6 months. You didn't preach integrity while living hypocrisy. No, but I was betrayed by someone close to me. And I know what it's like to be broken, to face shame, to have everything collapse. Come, let me show you something. He extended his hand, scarred, wounded. Nathan stared at it. I don't want to go anywhere with you. I know, but you need to. Nathan, you asked what I would do. I'm here to show you, not what I would do in your position, what I did when I experienced betrayal, and what happened after. Nathan took his hand, because what else was there? The guest room dissolved. The journey, Jesus and betrayal. The Last Supper. They stood in an upper room, ancient Jerusalem, the smell of bread and wine. 13 men reclining around a table, Jesus and his disciples. The atmosphere was heavy. Jesus had just washed their feet, an act of humility that left them uncomfortable. Now he sat at the table, bread in his hands, and said something that shattered the moment. I tell you the truth, one of you will betray me. The disciples looked at each other, confused, hurt. Each one asked, Lord, is it me? Judas, sitting close to Jesus, asked the same question, his voice steady, practiced. Rabbi, is it me? Jesus looked at him, not with anger, but with profound sadness. You have said so. Present, Nathan and Jesus watched from the shadows. Nathan whispered, You knew. The whole time, you knew he'd betray you. Yes. Then why did you choose him? Why let him stay close? Because love doesn't prevent betrayal, Nathan. I loved Judas, called him friend, gave him opportunity after opportunity to choose differently. But in the end, he made his choice. How did you not hate him? Who said I didn't feel betrayed? Who said it didn't hurt? Nathan, watch what happens next. The scene shifted. The Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus praying alone while his disciples slept. Then torches, soldiers, and walking at the front, Judas. Judas approached Jesus, leaned in, kissed his cheek. The signal. The betrayal made complete. Jesus looked at him. Friend, do what you came for. Called him friend, even in betrayal. The soldiers seized Jesus. Judas stepped back, watching, and in his eyes, immediate regret. Horror at what he'd done. He regretted it, Nathan said, right away. Yes, but regret isn't the same as repentance. Watch. Judas's end. The scene shifted again. Judas, stumbling through Jerusalem, clutching the 30 silver coins, his face twisted with anguish. He rushed to the chief priests. I have sinned. I've betrayed innocent blood. The priests looked at him with cold indifference. What is that to us? That's your responsibility. Judas threw the silver coins at their feet. The money scattered, ringing on stone. He ran, found a field. And present Nathan watched, horrified, as Judas tied a rope to a tree. No, Nathan said, don't show me this. But Jesus was gentle. You need to see it, because this is what happens when guilt becomes despair without grace. Judas couldn't face what he'd done, couldn't believe redemption was possible, so he ended it. I've thought about that, Nathan admitted quietly. Ending it. Not suicide, but ending everything. Running away. Starting over somewhere else. Pretending Nathan Brooks never existed. That's another kind of death. And Nathan, it's not what I'm calling you to. Come. Peter's denial. A courtyard. Nighttime. A fire burning. Jesus visible through a window, being questioned by the high priest. Peter stood near the fire, warming himself, trying to be inconspicuous. A servant girl approached. You were with Jesus of Nazareth. Peter's eyes widened. I don't know what you're talking about. Another person. Yes, you were. You're one of them. I can tell by your accent. Woman, I don't know him. A third accusation. This time, Peter cursed, swore. I tell you, I don't know the man. And across the courtyard, Jesus turned, looked directly at Peter. Their eyes met. The rooster crowed. Peter's face crumpled. He ran into the darkness, sobbing. Present. Jesus and Nathan watched him go. Peter denied me 3 times, Jesus said. Not because he was evil, because he was terrified. His reputation was on the line. His life might be in danger. So he lied, betrayed me to save himself. Did you forgive him? Watch. Peter's restoration. The scene shifted. The shore of Galilee, early morning. Peter and other disciples fishing. Resurrected Jesus stood on the beach, cooking fish over a fire. Friends, have you caught anything? No. Throw your net on the right side. They did. The net filled. John recognized Jesus first. It's the Lord! Peter immediately jumped into the water, swimming desperately toward shore. When he arrived, dripping, breathing hard, Jesus was waiting. They ate breakfast in uncomfortable silence. Then Jesus spoke. Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter looked at him, pain in his eyes. Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Then feed my lambs. A pause. Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter's voice wavered. Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Then take care of my sheep. Another pause. Jesus asked a third time. Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter's face contorted. 3 times. Jesus was asking 3 times, once for each denial. Peter's voice broke. Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Then feed my sheep. Present Nathan watched, tears streaming. You restored him, Nathan whispered. Yes. After he denied you, betrayed you, lied about even knowing you. Yes. Why 3 times? Because he denied me 3 times. I wanted him to affirm what he'd denied, to rebuild what he'd broken, to know that failure wasn't final. But he was different after, wasn't he? He couldn't just go back to being the same Peter. No, he was humbled, broken, but also deeper, more compassionate, more aware of his weaknesses. The betrayal didn't disqualify him from ministry, Nathan. It prepared him for a different kind of ministry, one built on grace instead of confidence. The woman caught in adultery. The scene shifted again. The temple courts, a crowd gathering. Religious leaders dragged a woman into the center. Her clothes were disheveled, her face marked with shame and terror. Teacher, they said to Jesus, this woman was caught in adultery, in the very act. The law of Moses commands us to stone such women. What do you say? It was a trap. Say stone her, lose credibility as a grace teacher. Say don't stone her, contradict Moses. Jesus knelt, wrote in the dust. Present Nathan couldn't see what he wrote. The accusers pressed. Well, what's your answer? Jesus stood. Let the one who is without sin throw the first stone. He knelt again, kept writing. Silence. Then the sound of stones dropping. Thud, thud, thud. One by one, starting with the oldest, the accusers left, until only Jesus and the woman remained. Woman, where are your accusers? Has no one condemned you? She looked around, shocked. No one, Lord. Then neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, sin no more. She left, weeping, free. Present Jesus turned to Nathan. Do you see? She was guilty, caught in the act, no defense. But I didn't condemn her. I freed her, with the command, sin no more. But how? Nathan asked desperately. How do you just stop? How do you become someone different after you've been that person? You don't do it alone, and you don't do it by pretending the sin didn't happen. You face it, own it, and let me rebuild what you broke. Come, one more thing. Jesus predicting Peter's denial. They were back at the Last Supper, before the betrayal. Jesus looked at Peter. Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift you like wheat, but I have prayed for you that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. Peter bristled. Lord, I'm ready to go with you to prison and to death. Jesus' expression was infinitely sad. I tell you, Peter, before the rooster crows today, you will deny 3 times that you know me. Present Jesus turned to Nathan. I told him it would happen, and I told him what would happen after. When you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. Not if, when. I already saw his restoration before his failure. You're saying you see mine? Nathan asked. I'm saying failure doesn't have to be final. Peter's denial became his testimony. His brokenness became his ministry. Nathan, what you've done is devastating, real. Consequences are coming, but it doesn't have to be the end. The real question. The scenes dissolved. They stood in a place beyond place. Nathan and Jesus face to face. Nathan, let me ask you something. Why did you do it? Nathan's first instinct was to defend himself, to explain, but under Jesus' gaze, the excuses evaporated. I was empty. Claire and we drifted. Marriage became routine. I felt trapped by expectations. Jessica saw me, really saw me, in a way I hadn't felt seen in years. With her, I didn't have to perform. I could just be. And with Claire? With Claire, I'm Pastor Nathan, the spiritual leader, the man with all the answers. I can't be weak, can't be struggling, can't be human. So you created two lives, public Nathan and private Nathan, and the gap between them was killing you. Yes. Nathan, here's what I'm going to tell you. The affair isn't the problem, it's the symptom. The problem is that you've been living a lie for years. Not the affair, the performance, the pretending, the hiding your humanity because you thought pastors aren't allowed to be human. Nathan sank to his knees, sobbing. I've destroyed everything. My marriage, my kids' respect, my church, my ministry. Everything I've built for 15 years is gone. Jesus knelt beside him. Yes, you have. And Nathan, that's not minimized or excused. Claire is devastated. Your kids are hurt. Your church feels betrayed. The consequences are real and severe. Then what hope do I have? The same hope Peter had. The same hope the adulterous woman had. The same hope everyone who's ever broken something has. You can be restored. Not back to what you were, that's gone, but into something new, something deeper, something more honest. How? By stopping the performance. By being honest with Claire, with your church, with yourself, with me. By facing what you've done instead of running from it. By letting the consequences come instead of trying to manage them. And by trusting that on the other side of this devastation, there's a different kind of ministry. One built on grace experienced, not just grace preached. What if Claire never forgives me? She might not. That's her choice, and you have to accept it. Restoration doesn't guarantee reconciliation. But Nathan, even if your marriage doesn't survive, you can. Not as Pastor Nathan, celebrity preacher, but as Nathan, broken man who met Jesus in his failure and found grace. I'm so ashamed. Good. Shame is the beginning of awareness. But don't let it become despair. Judas felt shame and it killed him. Peter felt shame and it humbled him. The difference? Peter believed in redemption. Do you? Nathan looked up, tears streaming. I want to. God, I want to. But I don't know if I'm worth redeeming. Jesus smiled sadly. None of us are. That's what makes grace, grace. Come, it's time to go back. Your wife is waiting. Your church is waiting. The consequences are waiting. But I'm with you. Every hard step. The choice. Nathan blinked. He was back in the guest room, same position, but everything had changed. He looked at his phone. Dozens of messages. All of them angry, hurt, confused. He could run, cash out his savings, disappear, start over in a different state with a different name. Or he could face it. Nathan stood, walked to the locked bedroom door, knocked gently. Claire, I know you don't want to talk to me. I know you hate me right now, but I need to say something. Not to make excuses, just to tell the truth. Silence. Then, Claire's voice, muffled through the door. I'm listening. I had an affair, for 6 months, with Jessica Torres, the worship coordinator. It started emotionally, became physical. I ended it Tuesday. Not because I got caught, I ended it before the text leaked. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that for 6 months I lied to you, betrayed you, broke every vow I made to you. He heard Claire crying on the other side of the door. I can't explain why in a way that makes it okay, because there's no okay explanation. I was empty. We drifted. I felt trapped by expectations. But Claire, those are reasons, not excuses. I had choices. I could have talked to you. I could have gone to counseling. I could have been honest. Instead, I chose lies. I chose betrayal. And I'm so sorry. The door opened. Claire stood there, face ravaged by tears. Sorry doesn't fix this, Nathan. I know. Sorry doesn't unbreak my heart. I know. Sorry doesn't give me back 6 months of trust. I know. She looked at him, and in her eyes he saw everything. Love and hate, hope and devastation, all warring together. I don't know if I can forgive you. I understand. I don't know if I want to stay married to you. I understand that too. Then what are you asking from me? Nothing. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just telling you the truth, for once. No performance, no spin, just the truth. I betrayed you. I'm sorry. And whatever you decide to do next, I'll accept it. Claire searched his face for a long moment. I need time. A lot of time. I can't look at you right now without feeling like I'm going to shatter. Do you want me to leave? I can go to a hotel, stay with Marcus. No. The kids need stability. You sleep in the guest room. We barely speak. We figure out what to tell Emma and Noah. And Nathan? Her voice hardened. Tomorrow you're going to that board meeting and you're going to tell them everything. No spin, no damage control. Everything. I will. Because if you don't, I will. And I'll file for divorce immediately. I'll tell them. All of it. Claire closed the door. But this time, Nathan heard it as a choice, not rejection. She was staying in the house. She hadn't said divorce. Yet. There was a sliver of hope, thin as paper, fragile as glass. Nathan returned to the guest room, spent the rest of the night on his knees, praying for the first time in months, without pretending. The Reckoning, next 30 days. Thursday, 9 a.m., emergency board meeting. Nathan sat at the head of a conference table, facing 12 board members. Marcus, as executive pastor, sat beside him. The mood was funereal. Board Chairman Robert Mitchell, 61, opened the meeting. Nathan, allegations have surfaced about an affair. Before we hear from anyone else, we need to hear from you. The truth. All of it. Nathan took a breath. This was it. The moment he stopped performing and started being honest. It's true. I had an affair with Jessica Torres, our worship coordinator. It lasted 6 months. It began as emotional intimacy, long conversations, inappropriate closeness. It became physical. I ended it Tuesday. The texts that leaked Wednesday were from before I ended it. The room erupted. Questions shouted over each other. Robert held up his hand, one at a time. Marcus, did you know? Marcus shook his head, looking devastated. No. I suspected Nathan was struggling with something, but not this. If I'd known... Did anyone on staff know? Robert asked. No, Nathan said. I hid it from everyone. Board member Sarah Chen leaned forward. Nathan, you've counseled dozens of couples through marriage issues. You've preached about integrity. You've written books on faithfulness. Do you understand the hypocrisy? Yes, I do. There's no defense. I betrayed my wife, my family, this church, and everything I claim to believe. What do you want from this board? Robert asked. Nothing. I'm resigning. Effective immediately. I'm not asking for severance or recommendations. I'm just telling you the truth before I walk away. This surprised them. Marcus spoke. Nathan, are you sure? Maybe you need a leave of absence, time to work on your marriage, then come back. No. Nathan's voice was firm. I can't lead this church anymore. I don't have moral authority. My marriage is hanging by a thread. My kids won't speak to me. I need to focus on trying to salvage my family, not my reputation. Robert nodded slowly. That's the right decision. We'll need an official statement. And Nathan, Jessica Torres is also being terminated. We can't have either of you on staff. I understand. I'll write a statement. Full confession. No excusing, no blaming her. This was my sin. The meeting continued for another hour. Details, logistics, damage control. But for Nathan, it was strangely freeing. No more hiding, no more performance. Just the truth, brutal and humiliating as it was. Sunday, the public confession. Against his attorney's advice and his own instincts, Nathan decided to confess publicly, to the church, in person. Claire agreed to come, sitting in the front row with Emma and Noah. A united front, even if it was fractured. The sanctuary was packed. News had spread. People came for the spectacle, for the confirmation, for the closure. Nathan walked onto the stage. No fanfare, no music, no introduction. Just a broken man with a microphone. Most of you know why I'm here. Rumors have been confirmed. I had an affair, for 6 months, with a staff member. I lied to my wife, my family, and all of you. I preached integrity while living hypocrisy. and I'm here to take full responsibility. You could hear a pin drop. I'm resigning as senior pastor, effective immediately. The board will name an interim, and you'll search for someone to lead this church forward. Someone trustworthy, which I am not. A few people nodded. Many cried. Some looked angry. I don't expect your forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm not here to ask for my job back or for sympathy. I'm here to tell the truth and to apologize. To Claire, he looked at her, tears streaming. I'm so sorry. To Emma and Noah, I'm sorry for breaking your trust in me. To this church, I'm sorry for failing you. He paused, gathering himself. Some of you are thinking, he's a hypocrite, a fraud. His ministry was a lie. And you're partially right. I was living a lie. But the gospel I preached, that's still true. The grace I talked about, it's real. I just need it desperately now instead of offering it academically. Jesus said, hidden things come to light. I preached that on Sunday. 3 days later, my hidden life was exposed. That's not irony. That's mercy. Because living the lie was killing me. The exposure, as painful as it is, it's freeing me. He looked out at 3,000 faces. If there's anyone here living a double life, hiding something, drowning in secrets, let me be your cautionary tale. It will come out, and when it does, it will cost you everything. But it will also free you. Not from consequences, those are real, but from the performance, from pretending. Nathan set down the microphone, started to walk off, then stopped. One more thing. Jesus restored Peter after Peter denied him 3 times. I don't know if I'll be restored in the way Peter was. Maybe my ministry is over forever. Maybe Claire will divorce me. Maybe my kids will never trust me again. But I know this. Jesus doesn't abandon broken people. He meets them in their brokenness. That's my hope, the only hope I have. He walked off stage. The church sat in stunned silence. Then, someone started clapping. Slowly. A single person. It was Claire. She stood, tears streaming, clapping not in approval, but in acknowledgement of courage. Others joined. Not everyone, but enough. A standing ovation for honesty, not for the sin, but for the confession. Nathan walked to Claire. She looked at him, and for the first time in days, there was something other than hatred in her eyes. That took courage, she said quietly. It's not enough, he replied. No, but it's a start. Slow healing. Claire and Nathan spent 18 months in intensive therapy. 3 sessions a week at first, individual and couples. Brutal. Necessary. Claire had every right to leave. Some days, she wanted to. But something in her, maybe stubbornness, maybe hope, maybe just exhaustion, made her stay. They established ground rules. Complete transparency. Nathan gave Claire all his passwords, location access, permission to check his phone anytime. Accountability. Nathan met weekly with Marcus and 2 other men who knew everything. No ministry. Nathan got a normal job, project manager at a tech company. Good pay, 0 platform. Slow rebuilding. No expectations, just showing up, day after day. It wasn't romance, it was work. Some days, Claire couldn't stand to look at him. Other days, there were glimpses of something like forgiveness. Emma took longer to forgive. She'd idolized her dad. The fall was catastrophic. It took a year before she'd have a real conversation with him. Noah, younger, adjusted faster. But there was a wariness now, a knowledge that dad wasn't invincible. Jessica left Nashville, moved to Colorado, sent Nathan one email a year later. I forgive you, not for you, for me. I had to let it go. He never replied. That chapter was closed. 2 years later, the small group. Nathan and Claire started attending a small church. Anonymous, no stage, just pews and hymns and ordinary faith. They joined a small group for couples in crisis. 6 couples, all dealing with betrayal, addiction, or trauma. One night, a young couple, Mark and Lisa, 28 and 26, shared. Mark had cheated. Lisa found out last month. They were devastated. After they shared, the group sat in awkward silence. Then Nathan spoke. Mark, I had an affair 2 years ago. I was a pastor. I preached about integrity while living a lie. My wife found out because it got exposed publicly. I lost my job, my reputation, my kids' respect. Mark looked up, seeing someone who understood. Does it get better? Mark asked. Slowly. Very slowly. It's been 2 years and we're still rebuilding. Some days are good. Some days Claire can barely look at me. But we're here. We're trying. Lisa turned to Claire. How did you not leave? Claire thought for a moment. Honestly, I almost did. daily, for months. But something, I don't know if it was God or stubbornness or hope, made me stay. Not because Nathan deserved it, because I decided our marriage was worth fighting for. She took Nathan's hand. Not romantic, just partnership. But here's what I need you to know, Mark. It only works if the betrayer does the work. If Nathan had minimized it, blamed me, or tried to rush my healing, I'd be gone. He had to own it completely, had to be patient with my rage, had to accept that forgiveness is a process, not an event. Mark nodded, tears in his eyes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Then you have a chance, Nathan said. Not a guarantee, but a chance. And that's more grace than either of us deserves. 3 years later, the phone call. Nathan's phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. Hello? Nathan Brooks? Yes? This is Pastor David Chen. I lead a small church in Portland, about 150 people. We're recovering from our own pastoral crisis. Our previous pastor had an affair. It's devastated our congregation. We're trying to rebuild trust. Nathan waited, unsure where this was going. I heard about your story, what you did, how you confessed, how you're rebuilding, and I wondered, would you be willing to come speak to our church? Not to pastor, just to share your story, help people understand that failure isn't final. Nathan's first instinct was to say no. He wasn't a speaker anymore, wasn't a pastor, just a guy trying to salvage his family. But something in him stirred. Can I talk to my wife and call you back? That night, Nathan told Claire about the invitation. What do you think? He asked. Claire looked at him for a long moment. Do you want to do it? I don't know. Part of me never wants to stand on a stage again. But another part, the part that met Jesus in my failure, thinks maybe my story could help someone. Then do it. Not as Pastor Nathan, as Nathan who failed and found grace. That's a story worth telling. The Portland trip. Nathan flew to Portland, stayed in a modest hotel, met Pastor Chen and the church leadership. Sunday morning, he stood before 150 people who'd been hurt by their pastor's betrayal. He shared his story, all of it. The affair, the lies, the exposure, the devastation, the slow rebuilding. I'm not here to excuse what I did. I'm not here to say it worked out great. I'm here to say, I'm still standing. My marriage is still standing. Not because I'm strong, because Jesus met me in my worst moment and didn't walk away. After, a woman approached him, mid-40s, tears in her eyes. My husband cheated 2 years ago. We're in counseling, but I'm so angry. How do I move past it? Nathan thought, you don't move past it, you move through it. Anger is valid, don't rush it, but also don't let it become your identity. My wife told me once, I'm choosing to fight for us, not against you. That shift, from punishment to partnership, that's when healing started. The woman nodded, crying, holding onto his words like a lifeline. The legacy, 5 years later. Nathan at 46. Nathan sat in his backyard with Claire. Evening. Kids at friends' houses. Quiet. 5 years since the affair was exposed. 5 years of rebuilding. They'd made it. Not perfectly, not without scars, but they'd made it. Claire leaned against him. Do you ever regret it? Every day. Do you ever regret confessing? Never. Keeping the secret was killing me. The exposure devastated me, but it also freed me. She nodded. I'm glad you told the truth, even though it destroyed me, even though I hated you. I'm glad you didn't let me live in a lie. Do you forgive me? It was a question he still asked sometimes, not manipulatively, just checking in. Claire thought. Most days. Some days the pain comes back fresh. But Nathan, forgiveness isn't a one-time choice. It's a daily decision. And most days, I choose it. That's more grace than I deserve. Yes, it is. But then, that's what grace is. 3 years after the affair, Nathan wrote a book. Not a how-to manual, not a triumphant comeback story, just an honest account. Title, After the Fall, One Pastor's Journey from Betrayal to Grace. It detailed everything, the affair, the lies, the exposure, the confession, the slow rebuilding, the theological wrestling with sin, repentance, and restoration. Publishers were skeptical. This won't sell. Nobody wants to read about failure. But a small Christian publisher took a chance. The book released. And something unexpected happened. It resonated. People who'd failed, pastors, leaders, ordinary believers, found hope in it. Not hope that failure doesn't matter. Hope that failure doesn't have to be final. The book sold 50,000 copies. Modest by bestseller standards, but 50,000 people who found a pathway through shame. Nathan started getting invitations to speak, not as Pastor Nathan, celebrity preacher, but as Nathan Brooks, broken man who met Jesus in failure. He accepted a few, always with Claire's permission, always telling the full truth. 7 years after the affair, Nathan started something new. Not a church, a non-profit. After the fall, support for church leaders who'd failed morally and were trying to rebuild. Counseling, accountability groups, job placement, family restoration resources. The church was often brutal with fallen leaders, discarded them, treated them as permanently disqualified. Nathan's organization offered something different, a pathway back to wholeness, if not always back to platform. Claire co-led it. Their story, her choice to stay, his choice to rebuild, became the foundation. In 3 years, they helped 200 leaders and their families navigate the aftermath of moral failure. Full circle moment. 10 years after the affair, Nathan received a call from Jessica. Nathan, it's Jessica. I know it's been years. I'm getting married. And I'm in therapy, working through what happened between us. My therapist suggested I call you, not to reconnect, just for closure. Nathan put the phone on speaker so Claire could hear. Hi, Jessica. Congratulations on your engagement. Thank you. I need to say something. For 10 years, I've blamed you for using me, for destroying my trust in church, in leaders, in God. And you did hurt me. But I've realized I made choices too. I knew you were married. I pursued you. We were both wrong.
We were. I'm so sorry for my part in hurting you. I forgive you, truly, and I hope you found healing.
I have, slowly. My wife is here, actually. Do you want to say anything to her? There was a long pause. Mrs. Brooks, I'm so sorry. For my role in betraying you, you didn't deserve that. Claire spoke, voice steady. Thank you for saying that. I forgive you, for both our sakes. After the call ended, Claire and Nathan sat in silence. That was healing, Claire finally said. For all of us, Nathan agreed. 10 years later, Nathan at 51. Nathan stood in a small church in Ohio, not as senior pastor, as a guest speaker, sharing his story again. He told it hundreds of times now. It never got easier, but it got more honest. 10 years ago, I was a megachurch pastor who had an affair. I lost everything, my job, my reputation, my family's trust, and I thought my life was over. He paused, looking at the 80 people in the sanctuary. But Jesus met me in my failure, not after I fixed myself, not after I earned back trust, in the middle of my mess. And he asked me the same question he asked Peter. Do you love me? Not, are you perfect? Not, have you proven yourself? Just, do you love me? And I realized, that's the only question that matters. Not whether I deserve restoration, whether I'm willing to receive it. After the service, a young pastor approached, maybe 35, nervous. Mr. Brooks, I'm struggling with pornography. My wife doesn't know. I'm terrified to tell her, but I feel like I'm dying inside. Nathan looked at him with compassion. Tell her, today. It will be the hardest thing you ever do. She'll be devastated. But secrets always come to light, and the longer you wait, the worse it gets. What if she leaves? She might. That's her right. But I promise you, living in truth, even painful truth, is better than living in lies. You'll survive the consequences. You won't survive the secrets.
The pastor nodded, tears streaming. How did you survive?
Jesus, community, accountability, time, and a wife who chose grace over giving up. Not everyone gets that last one, but you can have the others. Thank you. As Nathan drove home, he thought about the journey. 10 years from devastation to hope. Not perfect, not fully healed, but better. Claire was waiting when he got home. They'd made it to 28 years of marriage, 5 before the affair, 10 after the exposure, 13 of rebuilding. How was it? She asked. Good. Hard. A young pastor is struggling. I hope he tells his wife. Because secrets always come to light? Exactly. Claire smiled. That was a good sermon, by the way. The one you preached right before everything exploded? Ironic, wasn't it? Not ironic, prophetic. You were preaching to yourself. Nathan pulled her close. Thank you for staying, for fighting for us, for choosing grace. Thank you for doing the work, for not running, for being honest. They stood in their kitchen, 2 broken people who'd chosen restoration over destruction. It wasn't the life Nathan had planned, but it was real, honest, beautiful in its brokenness. And that, he'd learned, was worth more than any stage. In a world that demands perfection, Jesus asks, "Do you love me?" Not, "Are you qualified?" Not, "Have you earned it?" Not, "Are you worthy?" Just, "Do you love me?" Nathan thought he had to be perfect to be useful, thought ministry meant never failing, thought leadership meant hiding his humanity. He was wrong. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, swore, cursed, insisted he didn't know him. The ultimate betrayal. And Jesus didn't discard him, didn't shame him, didn't say, "You're done." He asked 3 questions, one for each denial. Do you love me? Giving Peter a chance to rebuild what he'd broken. Judas betrayed Jesus, regretted it immediately, but couldn't believe redemption was possible, couldn't face Jesus, couldn't receive grace. So regret became despair, and despair became death. The difference between Judas and Peter? Not the sin. Both betrayed Jesus. But Peter believed in restoration. Judas didn't. Nathan betrayed his wife, his kids, his church, lived a lie for 6 months, preached integrity while embodying its opposite. He could have run, could have denied, could have ended it like Judas. Instead, he did what Peter did. He faced Jesus, admitted the truth, and asked, "What now?" And Jesus said, "Now you rebuild. Not back to what you were, into something new, something deeper, something more honest." Restoration doesn't mean no consequences. Claire had every right to leave. The church had every right to be angry. The pain was real. The betrayal was devastating. But restoration means consequences don't have to be the end. They can be the beginning of something more true. The woman caught in adultery heard, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Not sin doesn't matter, but grace is bigger. If you're reading this and you've failed, if you've betrayed someone, if you've hidden something, if you're drowning in secrets, hear this. The exposure will hurt. The consequences will be real, but the freedom is worth it. Jesus doesn't meet you after you've fixed yourself. He meets you in your mess, in your brokenness, in your worst moment. And he asks, "Do you love me?" Not, "Are you perfect?" Just, "Do you love me?" If the answer is yes, then restoration is possible. Not easy, not quick, but possible. What would Jesus do with betrayal? He'd experience it. He'd hurt from it. He'd allow consequences. But he wouldn't let it be final. He'd offer restoration. Not because we deserve it, because that's who he is. Grace for the broken. Hope for the fallen. Restoration for those who thought they were done. Always. Discussion questions for groups. 1. Have you ever experienced betrayal? How did it affect you? 2. Nathan preached about integrity while living hypocrisy. Why is that so damaging? 3. Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 times. Why 3? What was he doing? 4. What's the difference between Judas's regret and Peter's repentance? 5. The woman caught in adultery heard, "Go and sin no more." What does that mean practically? 6. Claire chose to stay and rebuild. Was that wise? Why or why not? 7. Can someone who's failed morally ever lead again? What does restoration look like? 8. Nathan said, "Secrets always come to light." Do you agree? What does that mean for us? 9. How should the church respond to leaders who fall? What's the balance between grace and accountability? 10. Is there something hidden in your life that needs to come into the light?